everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's episode where we have Mike Bingham.
There you go.
Joining us today. And Mike is the president of the Tahlequah Trails Association. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you, Edna. I appreciate you inviting me to speak about Tahlequah Trails Association and, of course, our Willing Ridge Trails project.
Yes. And on a few podcasts previous, a few episodes ago, we talked about it, but now we have the actual expert here with us today. So first off, tell us about the association.
Okay, so the association was a group of outdoor enthusiasts here in Tahlequah that enjoyed hiking, mountain biking on trails, paddling even, and of course we do have the Illinois River here, but we really didn't have any trail systems here to enjoy. And we had witnessed for years the explosion in northwest Arkansas of trails. I mean, there's like hundreds of miles over there now, and it's like every month you go back over there and there's new trails. So, but we felt like we could do something similar here, and that's what brought us together, actually, to try to find a piece of property and build and provide natural surface trails for mountain bikers, hikers, walkers, trail runners, whatever.
Wow, so this was just a grassroots effort of...
Yes.
I love that.
Yes,
I
definitely.
love that, yes. And so you basically formed the association. Tell me, how did you come up with the funds to do this project?
So it's been a process. Looking back, honestly, it's happened fairly rapidly. We started in organizing in 2019, applied for some grants to kind of get us kick-started. One of those big grants we applied for was it was called a Trail Accelerator Grant, or a TAG grant, through International Mountain Biking Association. And they are a world leader in trails, in trail advocacy, in training volunteers, training people to manage trails. So it was definitely a godsend that we received that grant from IMBA.
Your first shot, you go out.
Yes, we go after a big
I'm so
one.
impressed.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had some great leadership. Lori Enlow was the original president.
Okay.
And she wound up moving to Southwest area in Arizona to take a job. So I don't know if it was a smart move, but at the time I was kind of like the last resort, I felt like. So it kind of, I was asked to take over, and we've just been working hard ever since then. We received several other local grants. One of the bigger ones was through Tahlequah Community Fund, and they helped us get our parking lot built. We fenced our parking lot. We were able to buy tools and a storage container to store our tools in, and between that and the TAG grant from IMBA, it started us in the right direction. We were just, like I said, it was so fortunate looking back to see that all came together. And of course, the piece of property too.
Yeah.
It's an amazing piece of property.
It's gorgeous. You guys have, I mean, the entrance is pretty impressive.
It is.
I'm a little, I was like, what is happening here? I drove by one day and I thought it was some big fancy estate being put in or something. And then later when I had a little more time, we went exploring, and very impressive.
Yes, that was a donation. Again, another godsend from the Chapmans, Alan and Carrie Beth Chapmans. They were originally, I believe, going to use that as an entrance to a home they were going to build. And that's what it looks like.
Yes, it's gorgeous.
So it is. It's probably the prettiest entryway to a trail system anywhere in this area for sure.
Yes, yeah. And so why did you get involved in this whole project? Are you originally from Tahlequah?
I am. I was not born here, but I've grown up here, spent my whole life here actually.
Okay.
So, and have been an outdoor enthusiast for years. Paddled literally thousands of miles, been hiking all over northwest Arkansas. That's kind of like vacation when, you look at vacations as an area to go and enjoy those outdoor activities. So it was kind of a no-brainer that I wanted to see something like that here for the local people to use. And it's kind of morphed. In a sense, we were a little bit selfish, thinking we're going to build this so we can enjoy this new area and not have to travel maybe. But as you begin into that process, you realize how many people could enjoy that area. And so our slogan, our mantra, whatever you would like to call it, is building community through trails. And that says it all to me. It's not just about the trails. The trails are there to bring the community, to bring people together. And I truly believe in that. Made many, many friends. I know a lot of the regulars that use the trail by first name basis. They know me, and it's a wonderful thing. It's healthy, of course. But
great singular thing to do, or family or group or friends. I love that. Now, what does it take to actually maintain, like what does that look like to maintain a trail?
So the cost on maintenance can vary. They estimate the cost, IMBA does, at about 10% or more for the building cost. We built our first beginner trail systems, which is, there's two loops, the Brothers Loop, Little Brother and Big Brother Loop, that are about 2.5 miles total.
And how wide are they?
We try to get a trail corridor and a trail tread, let's say a trail tread of about 3 feet.
Okay.
And then the corridor, which you trim back the vegetation so you have good sight lines, up to about 5 feet wide and approximately 7 to 8 feet tall.
Yeah, it feels very, I don't know, I'm not scared. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like some trails, I'm a little like, I don't know, a bear's waiting around the corner, but this one, I could see the bear. Yeah.
Right. And that was one of the, going back to IMBA, International Mountain Bike Association, they sent an expert out for a week, and he spent a week here in Tahlequah. Prior to him coming out, we sent him the property so he could kind of look at and start designing trail. But he spent a week here with us, training us how to build trail, how to manage volunteers. He actually flagged about 4 miles of trail, which means he took it from a concept on a computer in his office, and we came up here and put it on the ground and actually laid it out as to where it would actually flow, the alignment of it, if you will, and then started us building in, I guess that would have been February of 2020. We began actual construction there. So
that's
we built
very impressive.
2.5 miles with all volunteers, mostly by hand, using hand tools. So
well, and again, I want to say, like, when I think of a trail, sometimes I'll even call it like a pig trail, you know? So it's just but that is not it. This is a very nice, and I think that might be the difference, like runners, walkers, bikers, it kind of works for everyone, and you've got space if they're all doing it at the same time.
Right. And that goes back to, you were talking about it being open.
Yeah.
You want those good sight lines so you don't have any conflicts. You know, it may be corners or whatever, and everybody can be aware of someone approaching either direction for safety, obviously.
Right. And so you've mentioned volunteers. How would someone who is maybe an outdoor enthusiast and this really speaks to them, how would they get involved in something like that?
Okay, that's a very good question. So on our Facebook page and on our website, we have links to sign up for volunteer days. And we were doing originally, we started out doing volunteer days like weekly. We wanted to get trail built rapidly. You know, might be 2 people out this week and 5 the next, but we've since slowed down, and we do a couple in the spring and then a couple in the fall, which we actually have one planned for this Saturday. With the weather forecast may not happen. We also, so you can connect with us there. There's, and we have a calendar there that shows upcoming events, whether it be a ride event or a volunteer event.
Oh, nice. So. Okay. Well, we'll put those links below so that anyone who's interested can do that. And so how do you, obviously, to get it started, you had a grant, you had a lot of, donations, but how do you maintain it financially? Because I mean, it's really well done, and now it has bathrooms and this beautiful entrance. That's maintenance. I mean, like, there's things involved with that.
Right. So we depend on donations, obviously. We also have been doing a big fundraiser. This will be our 3rd year. We have a fundraiser in May, the 16th, Friday evening, where we provide dinner and entertainment, and so we sell those tickets. That's probably our big fundraiser, and we do another smaller fundraiser or two through the year. We sell a little bit of T-shirts, hats. We actually have our own brand of coffee that Rose Rock Coffee,
Oh, yeah.
does for us. So we're totally dependent on donations, in answer to your question, and volunteers. So we have, for instance, with this stormy weather we have now, we have the potential to have some trees down, limbs down, some damage. So then it's not an organized volunteer day, but I have certain friends that we can call on that can come out and we'll remove trees, clean up any damage to the trail or whatever. We depend on also the users, like you're talking about yourself, using the trail. If you use the trail and you see a problem, we ask for you to let us know, and hopefully we can get a location and have that taken care of fairly quickly. So it's kind of it's a community event. Like I say, it's building community through trails. So without the community support, which we've had a tremendous amount of support. I look back at a figure today. We have an app that tracks our volunteer hours and numbers, and I look back today, since we began keeping track, we've had 274 volunteers that have put in 2,756 hours, and that value of that is $76,653, just volunteer hours.
That is amazing. Tahlequah is just such a great community.
It is.
Yeah, yeah. And would be a great way to give back. Obviously, the trails are free, doesn't cost you anything. But if you went out, spent an entire day, and saved all that money from driving somewhere else, and they wanted to do like a little love fund, how would somebody get in touch with you to make a donation?
Yes, and we have a donation link right on our website.
Okay, perfect.
You can get hold of us that way, or we have an email address that is linked through our website, and I believe it's also on our Facebook page.
Perfect.
They can get a hold of us like that to make donations. That also allows, back to the volunteers, occasionally we'll have groups that would like to do a volunteer day just for their own unique group. So we've done, I think this is our third year this year. This might be our going on fourth year with the OSU medical students.
Oh, nice.
They come out and do a volunteer day with us, and we've had the Tau Kappa Epsilon fraternity. They've been huge volunteers with us. We also, along with the trails, we felt like we needed to give back to the community, so we adopted 3 miles of road from Highway 51 at Speedy's all the way to the trail entrance, and we keep trash cleaned up there every quarter. So again, Tau Kappa Epsilon. Recently we had the Kaizen running group and the Fit Ranks. They came out, and we had probably the largest volunteer day ever, over 40 people picking up trash along 3 miles of roadway. So
that is amazing. Tahlequah going to show up and show out. Yeah, I love that. I love that.
We have a great giving community here. It's amazing.
So what is some of the wildlife or flora, fauna that people could expect to see on the trail? I was teasing about the bear.
Yes,
I really was.
You might see an occasional reptile, occasional snake or lizard. We have wild turkeys there. I know there's a group of coyotes that you'll hear occasionally.
Really?
I've not seen them, thankfully, but one of the big things that you'll notice, and you talk about the openness of the terrain, there's a high canopy forest there, and a lot of it's pine trees. And the pine trees put out the needles and acidify the ground, which keeps the underbrush from growing quite as much, plus the sunlight doesn't penetrate. The story on the pine trees is interesting. There was a agricultural teacher at Tahlequah High School years ago, a Mr. Charlie Hathaway, that would take his FFA students out there, and he would hand these young men a coffee can. They would strap to their belt, put pine tree seedlings in it, and a special tool, a little bit of water, and they would park at the bottom of the hills on the west side. And he would say, guys, don't start at the bottom. You go to the top and start down. So all of those, and they planted literally thousands of pine trees. And we are now enjoying these, mature 40, 50-year-old pine trees out there, and it's like a mini Colorado in places.
Yeah, it does not look like you're in Tahlequah. Does that make sense?
Yes,
So but it's beautiful. And then how many miles total, if somebody wanted to be extra.
Okay.
I'm kind of the little brother trail myself, but yeah.
So right now we have 6 miles open, approximately 6 miles. We do have a crew out there right now that's working on a grant that will finish about pretty much all of our master plan mileage. They'll add another about 2.5 miles to the system. So we'll have about 8.5 plus miles total of trail over the 200 acres.
That is amazing.
Yes.
Wow, that's so good for Tahlequah. I love that. Okay, so you mentioned that you've got a big event coming up in May. How would someone get tickets to that? Is that your big fundraiser?
It is. It is. It is. And we have a ticket links on our Facebook page. We have advertisement going out regularly there. They can get in touch with us through our website. We also have a link there. There's QR codes there. They can email us.
You guys are fancy, aren't you?
Well, we have connected with some really wonderful help. Drew Haley has helping us tremendously. Shout out to Drew Haley and his Digital Dots is his business. So thank you, Drew Haley.
Yes.
So much.
He does a lot of volunteer work in our community, and I think sometimes we forget to give him those shout outs. So that's good.
I'll flash the flyer here.
Okay,
here's the flyer. We'll just leave one of these behind.
Perfect. Yeah, and we'll put this on the website, so anyone who's watching the podcast, they'll be able to link to that and see it. But go ahead and give us more details. What have you got here?
So on Friday night, May 16th, we'll have a dinner and entertainment by Face Vocal Band. If anyone doesn't know who they are an all a cappella 5 young men group. They do the vocals, of course, but they also do the musical instruments in the background. One of the young men that is in the group has ties to Tahlequah. He's actually from Tahlequah. Anderson Daniel has ties to Tahlequah, and so they've been here a couple of times at the NSU Playhouse, I believe, and performed. Yeah. And so we'll also have some swag to give away. We'll have a raffle and silent auction, and it'll be a really fun evening of get-together.
Okay, that sounds amazing. So guys, if you want to go and check out the trails, if you want to volunteer to help keep the trails up or the expansion of the trails, that's great. Or you want to go or you want to do all of it. Click on the links below. That'll give you all of the details. You can also follow them on Facebook. Whether you're able to join in or not, the more followers, the more you can share and get their information out in front of everyone. Mike, thank you. This was very informational. I have enjoyed them myself, but I didn't really have a lot of details. And so now I definitely appreciate it even more than what I was. So
thank you so much for having me to your podcast today.
Absolutely. Guys, please like and follow and share this so that we can get the information out and help this amazing organization to, again, just help the community and give back to the community. And as always, thank you for watching today's podcast.